Well, come on in, pull up a chair. Got plastic dreams and chrome everywhere. Got a box on the bench and glue on my hands, building little hot rods, making big time plans. From a 69 Chevelle to a Galaxy ride, got the hobby fire burning deep inside. Model building in retirement, turning memories into scale. How the tips and kit reviews, good old Ken will get you through. Yeah, we're building, model building in retirement.
Sponsored by Model Makers Workshop. Need parts for your next model project? Model Makers Workshop has you covered with the best aftermarket accessories around. And by Gaahleri, your one-stop shopping for all your airbrush needs. Well, good evening, everybody. How y'all doing tonight? So it's Friday. First Friday in July, so once again, my first Friday of every month I do a show, so here we are. So much for being off all summer, right? Well, who we got in the room here? Let's see, we got Boston Bud, Stout Creations, Johnny, Kevin, Pops, Mikey, how you doing? Welcome, everybody. I really appreciate you tuning in. Well, what a heat wave, huh? Phew. I'll tell you what, I took a break. I thought I was going to take a break from model building and the channel for a while because I was just kind of falling behind on my nice weather chores, you know, stuff like yard work and whatnot. So, but I committed to that Falcon that I did, and I promised that every Friday I would have an episode. So I had to keep building that. So that took 6 weeks. And then I had the buddy build with Mikey over at Chester's Models, and I didn't want to let him down. So I was finally freed up. It's like, okay, I'm caught up. I'm going to do stuff. Luckily, right before the heat wave came in, I got out there. I had to paint a picket fence, which I hate because you got to paint all the sides of it and whatever. Pruned a bunch of trees, trim my shrubs, power wash the house, got everything looking good. And thank God that was just before the heat wave hit. So that put me back into the model room again because it was too hot to be outside. So, okay, so we got some more people coming in. We got 46 in the room already, so great. Well, anyways, happy 4th of July to everybody. 250th anniversary of our great country. How about that, huh? I remember the 200th was a big thing back in 76, and that was the year I got my driver's license. I was only 16 years old, so it feels like just yesterday, except for my bones feel like it's been 100 years. So, I was reading up on that. So the Declaration of Independence was actually drawn up on the 4th of July, 1776, but actually was not signed until August 2nd of 1776. So that's an interesting piece of trivia. I don't know if anybody really knows that, but can everybody hear me real good too? Just want to check the volume. So, I got to tell you what though, man, those guys had balls of steel. The Revolutionary War was like going on in like 1775, I think it was, and the 13 states were trying to break away from British rule. Not everybody was on board, but the Revolutionary War was going on. So people were up against, the British Navy and the British Army, and you're up here against a bunch of farmers in the U.S., and those guys just had so much courage and guts, because, basically when they wrote that up and broke away from British rule, I mean, that's treason, that's a death sentence. So they really took a chance. And then I read up on it. Funny, I don't remember any of this from history because I was drawing model cars. But where was I going with that? So after we declared our independence, British just turned it down. They're like, no, Nope. We're going to continue the war. And that war went on for 7 more years. It wasn't until, I think, what was it? I had that written down somewhere. It wasn't until like 1781, Battle of Yorktown, when George Washington defeated Cornwallis there, and that's when things started winding down. But it was 1783 when the Paris Peace Treaty was finally signed. So a little bit of history lesson for everybody there. But it wasn't all rosy. It wasn't just sign a piece of paper and, hey guys, we're good. Definitely a different Congress than we have in our leadership today. And I know I don't talk politics on my channel, but, you can't help but be a little political on the 4th of July. So anyways, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. And hope everybody, if you're not retired, you probably had off today because it's like an official holiday. I hope you did. Jason from Blue Hawks is here. Hey, Jason, how you doing, buddy? Mike's Mods and Customs. TJ, how you doing? All right, well, I really appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. It's going to be a really great show. Let me get my banner ready. So tonight's guest, I'm sure most of you guys know. Where's my banner? Tonight's guest, Jodi Doyle. And you may know Jodi from the Sunday Build Show with Jason Hanscom and the gang on Sunday afternoon, and also the Model Insanity podcast. So he's going to be on tonight. I think that's going to be a great show. I didn't really realize, because I am kind of new to the hobby compared to a lot of you guys. But I didn't realize what a great builder Jodi was until I ran into him at NNL East and saw his stuff on the tables. And I'm like, wow, really good stuff. So we met at the show and got to know each other a little bit. And he's got a bunch of pictures tonight that we're going to look at his build. So really, really cool stuff. Then, where are we here? My next show for August, the first Friday in August is August 7th, 2026. It'll be at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And my special guest is going to be Jerome Andrews from the channel Models by Roni. And he's an outstanding builder as well. So it's going to be a great show too. So, I'm not having any trouble booking up the guests. Everybody's so friendly and accepts my invitations. It's really a great community for sure. So, okay, so got 49 people. Come on in, folks. Let me get my comments back on where I can see them. Okay, so what do we got going on here besides America's 250th anniversary? Talked about the heat wave. Well, every time I have a show, I do a little shout out about my Facebook group page, Model Building and Retirement on Facebook, same name as my channel. But here's a big milestone that we hit just this week. I'm really excited about this, and we hit 10,000 members this week. I'm just blown away because earlier this year, I think it was January or February, I think I had like 100. And I didn't think it was going to get much bigger than that. And here we are blowing right past 10,000. And I appreciate it. A lot of people are congratulating me, but the page is not about me. It is about the builders. So I really congratulate everybody that's joined and all the members of the group. You are the ones that should be congratulated. And really, really great group of people. Because before I had mine page, some, not all, I would see that some people just were disrespectful and would bash people, like you get some rookies out there who aren't really good builders and they'd say, what do you think? And people would be pretty brutal. Or when people made paint mistakes, instead of, people would ask for help, people would just bash them about using Rust-Oleum or whatnot. But on our group, everybody's very friendly. They help each other. If you ask a question, you're going to get probably about 50 different helpful responses. So I really appreciate everybody for joining us. Again, that's Model Building in Retirement on Facebook. A wonderful group of guys. I really appreciate it all. Now we're going to have a little bit of fun too here. So if you watch my last video, you know that I started adding music to my channel. In fact, there was the one at the intro called Plastic Dreams. So I did another one, and it's called Airbrush Blues. And that was just introduced on June 30th, and it is already taken #1 on the Billboard Top 100 for the 4th of July weekend. And if you notice, I even beat out Taylor Swift, who incidentally is getting married today at Madison Square Garden. But isn't that amazing? Folks, it's all in good fun. But if you haven't heard the song, check it out. It's on this video here that I just did. It's my Tamiya Mustang GT4 patriotic build. And when I go to the airbrush booth, I have that song playing. So it's really a catchy tune. So check it out if you would like to hear it. But no, it's not really on Billboard, folks. And I'm not the singer, by the way. Oh, man. But it really is a lot of fun. So what else? So last episode I was on, I had talked about chasing down the steam locomotive from Union Pacific called the Big Boy 4014. And, that was really cool. I had a little video where I flew up to Ashtabula, Ohio, and caught it at a crossing and then drove all the way back home. But it is right now in Philadelphia. But it's going to be heading back, and this time it's going to stop right here in my town. So on July 12th, I'm actually going to go. It's going to be a whistle stop, so they're actually going to stop the train for about a half hour there. So I hope to get a good video of it coming in, and I hope to get a good look at her, because I just love those steam chugging, breathing machines, man. It's just amazing stuff. So, all right. So what's going on, folks? Airbrush Blues is an awesome song. Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate it. I really like that. I can't take the credit for the lyrics because I did use AI to help me with it, but I did punch in my whole feelings about it. So it took what I feel and my enjoyment of airbrushing and turned it into a song and really wrote the lyrics for me. So really a great song. And there's even a longer version of that. Goes on for like 6-8 minutes. I didn't want to abuse it too much of the privilege. So, alrighty. So what else we got here? Let's do a little bench update. So I'm going to switch out cameras here. So hang on just a moment. I'll get you switched over. Talk about what builds I've got going on. And I have to make an adjustment here. I have to turn off the green screen for a moment. Okay. So speaking of my Mustang build, there it is. So that was my latest build. I'm going to pick this camera up out of the cradle and kind of show you around here. Anyways, I built this just in time for the 4th of July celebration here. I think it really came out good. I had a lot of fun with that. If you didn't see the build, I do have that video out on it, and just look at my main channel page and you'll find it there. Homemade decals and all. So really a fun build. So what have I been doing and where am I going? So I started just putting around because I have a bunch of these 3D engines and stuff. And I thought, well, you know what? Let me just start building those things out so that when I start a new build, I don't have to wait to test these things for size, because when you do a mock-up, you got to see if you can fit these in, because 9 times out of 10, you got to cut away and make some modifications to fit stuff. So I've been building out some engines, but here's my new project. I'm going to show you a slide here too. Just stand by just a minute here to kind of explain what I'm doing. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with the original Gone in 60 Seconds movie. This was back in 1973, and Eleanor, instead of being the Shelby like the remake with Nicolas Cage, was a 71 Mustang Fastback, but they put a different grille on it because the movie was shot in 73 and they wanted to make it look like a brand new car. So they swapped out the grille and put a 73 grille on it. But it's one of the best chase movies that you'll ever see. Really a fun movie of mine, and I was always a fan of this long-nosed Mustang body. So, the chase goes on for, I don't know, like 45 minutes straight, and that car it starts out in beautiful condition, beautiful golden yellow, and gets all wrecked up like this. I'll talk about that one a little later. So, where I'm going with that is I am going to build that. That is my next build. And I'm right now in the stages. I've already started it. I'm waiting for paint because I actually ordered the exact real paint for this. But the method that I'm using here is it's like an embossing foil. It's about 4/1000 of an inch thick. I'll show you here. So it's thicker than regular aluminum foil, so it's kind of pliable. Pliable, but yet still fragile. So what you do is I'm burnishing it against the actual body panels of the Mustang, and then I'm experimenting right now. Like, for example, I made a fender. This is with some etching primer on it, so the back is aluminum. I made another hood. So I'm experimenting to find out if it's better to paint it all first or to wreck it and then paint it. So here was a experiment that I did here to see if I could pull it off. So if you remember, that car had wrapped itself around a pole. Let me get to that picture again. Right there on that front wheel there, he had accidentally wrapped that car around a light pole on the interstate or on the freeway. So I'm good. I'm trying to mimic that. So that was just a little bit of experimenting. So I think I'm going to be able to pull this off. It's going to be one of those bold projects. Not sure how it's going to come out, but I committed to it. I've already started building it, so we'll see. I'm using the Boss 351 Mustang from Revell kit, except for I'm using the hubcaps out of the Revell Mach 1. So I think this is going to be really cool. So it's going to be all wrecked up. So I'm waiting for the paint. I ordered it from Skill Finishes because MCW is in the process of moving and they're just not up and running yet. So I couldn't get the paint elsewhere, but I wanted to use the exact paint, just not any old yellow. So that's an upcoming build. And then I've got this one here that I'm working on. When I was at NNL East at the vendors area, Jimmy Flintstone had his resin cast bodies there, and I don't know what possessed me to do it, but this is the 1948 Chevy sedan delivery van, and it's a really stretched version of that. It's about 2 inches or more longer than the kit, which is the Galaxy 48 Chevy. So I'm going to swap out the body on this, but I've been playing around with some decals here, and I haven't decided exactly yet if I'm going to. Let me get a picture up here. I got some renderings here. And I think the bottom one came out really, really, really cool looking, but I'm actually probably going to go with the top version. All stock and factory, and I'm kind of playing with the whole idea that it's a shop truck build, Kevin, for the who is it, Mark Batson kind of did that group build there, and that's still going to be displayed at Acme this year. But because I'm kind of playing, instead of the channel being that it's 1948, it's the Model Building and Retirement Radio Show. So I think that's going to be kind of a cool build. So it'll probably be working simultaneously with my Mustang build, like when I get delayed or whatnot. So I got some fun, and let me change the cameras here so I don't make you dizzy. Sorry if I'm making you guys dizzy here. Okay, we're back. So anyways, I'm kind of excited about them. Thanks, Johnny. I appreciate it. There it is, Chet. Yeah, Chet, that's where I bought it from, is Skill Finishes. Yep. because they got the movie cars, paints for any kind of movie car. So I found it there, so I ordered a bottle. Kind of expensive. It's $12 to do that. It's another $6 or so to ship. So it's like $18. hopefully I have enough with that 2 ounces to spray the whole thing. So, alrighty. See if I got all my news caught up here. So it does look like it's I'm caught up. I don't think I have anything new here. Got 58 people in the room. Wow, you guys are awesome, man. Hey, Bill. I see Bill River Rat is here. Okay, so I think it's time to bring on our special guest tonight. So let me bring up a little video that I prepared for Jodi, and then once this video plays, Jodi will be on with us. So here we go, folks. Let me get that pulled up. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Jodi Doyle.
Yeah.
Hey, Jodi, how you doing?
Fantastic. That was great.
Yeah,
Nice
the audience in the bleachers right over to my right, they were the ones applauding.
They seem excited. It's fantastic. Yeah. That's great.
Oh, appreciate you joining me tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed meeting you at NNL East and saw your work there. I watch you on the Sunday builds. Usually the camera's aiming at you guys' faces, so you don't really see too much of your work. Occasionally you hold it up or whatnot. So when I finally saw it, I was like, whoa, man, okay, Jodi's a builder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me, how long have you been building? What's your story there?
So, like many of us, started as a young kid. I think it was probably more of a distraction. As probably a 6-year-old or so, first kit I built was the old Toyota snap together kit, and then kind of fell out of it for a bit, and then kind of early teenage years I got back into it, and it's a hobby that's kind of come and gone over the years. I've never been too far away from the bench, but life commitments and things get in the way. Like many, COVID kind of brought a lot of people back into the hobby, right? We're all stuck at home, needed something to do. And right around then is when I actually picked up the airbrush, and it's just completely changed my model building and abilities, the materials we have today, techniques, YouTube, obviously. It's just made it so much easier to get more proficient, and it's fantastic. It's a great hobby. I've built one-to-one cars for many years and had a number of things, and play music is another hobby of mine, but surely model building is the primary hobby, and I just love the process of building models. So
it really is a fun hobby and a lot cheaper than the others.
Absolutely.
Especially the one-to-one.
Absolutely. I tell everybody, my friends, my car friends give me a hard time sometimes, but it's like I can sit at my kitchen table and build a car in a month. It's still a creative outlet. I said, I could spend 2-3 years out in the garage working on something, a lot more time and money. I really don't feel like rolling around on a cold concrete floor anymore. So I'm quite content with just building models. So.
I used to be able to build a one-to-one car for about the price of a riding lawnmower.
Yeah.
Today's riding lawnmowers, $4,000 or so.
Yeah.
Now I can't even afford a carburetor, let alone a car. Yeah.
It's just gotten ridiculous, I still got a couple. I've got an old Jetta that I've had for close to 30 years. It was a big member of the VW community here in the Northeast for a very long time. Met a lot of great people, and have a lot of great friends from that. And then I've got a 79 Chevy Malibu station wagon I inherited from my dad when he passed last year. And we built that. So the Jetta and the wagon, we both kind of built together. So I've got a pretty deep sentimental attachment to both of those things. So
Cool.
My hope is to get my garage cleaned out enough I can get them both inside for the winter and spend a little bit of time. I got a nice heated shop and everything. So
Oh, nice.
it's just a time bandit. You know, the one-to-one stuff is completely different than building these little scale models sitting at the table. So
Right.
yeah.
Now, where are you at? Is it New Hampshire?
So I live in Vermont.
Vermont.
I live in Georgia, Vermont, which is kind of about 15 minutes above the Burlington area. St. Albans is about 10 minutes away, so I'm kind of right in the middle. So, you know, when I go to shows, any model shows other than my local show, you know, it's a 3 to 4 hour hike minimum to get to basically anything. And all the years that I was in the VW community doing the shows, it was the same thing. I mean, I put a bazillion miles on that thing because everything was in Connecticut, you know, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. Got to Ocean City, Maryland a few times, which is like a 13-hour trip. So I'm used to driving the distance. So, you know, through the hobby and the community, you know, I've made a lot of great friendships. So, you know, I really look forward to going to shows. And we got a little bit of a bubble of shows in the spring, and it kind of quiets down a bit until the fall. It'll kind of pick back up again. So it's always fun to go get inspired by others, you know, catch up with your friends and go look at really cool stuff, you know. So it's just got to drive a distance, unfortunately, because I'm up here in the middle of nowhere. So
Yeah.
about 15 minutes from Canada. So
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I was up in your neck of the woods when I was in my early teens. One of the last big vacations with mom and dad. Went up through the New England states and ended up all the way up in Maine and whatnot. But beautiful country up there. So
it's beautiful up here. I mean, we're definitely not exposed to the heat, though. It's been pretty miserable up here. You know, we have a really short summer season, long winters, and you know, it's like a switch. It goes from like cold to reasonable temperatures to just blazing hot. So I'm quite content just being inside in the AC when it's that hot out.
yeah. No kidding. I don't know if you heard my monologue at the beginning there, but I planned on breaking away. I did get a bunch done in about a week. I busted ass outside, but then the heat came. It's like, I'm back down in the basement again building.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I feel like I should be out enjoying it while it's here, you know, but when it's 95 and humid, there is nothing fun about that. I'm just not built for that. I don't enjoy it. So I just as soon sit inside. So
Yeah. I feel more relaxed now, though, because I had time commitments on my last couple builds, you know, because I had promised that every Friday I was going to do a show about that Falcon. So, you know, it's like, well, no, I got to build that all week so that I had something to show on Friday. And then, you know, doing the buddy build, that was for the 4th of July. So I had time commitment there. But these projects that I'm working on now, when the weather gets nice, and it's supposed to dip back down into lower mid 80s next week. So I'm going to get back outside. I'm going to be working on them, but no rush, you know.
Yeah.
If I can't put a video out every week, that's fine, you know.
Nice job on both of those. That Falcon turned out just killer. And it's good, you know, I've been watching your channel right from the beginning, so it's good to see it kind of getting outside your comfort zone a little bit more scratch building. The tilt nose, you know, there's quite a bit of work that goes into just chopping stuff up and make it cohesive. And you did a really good job on that. And the Mustang turned out fantastic, too.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that.
Nice work on both of those.
Well, thanks.
They're really good. So.
Yeah, and it's fun getting out of that comfort zone. You know, I mean, I liked kicking butt and building a model every 10 days, but I'm really proud of doing the extra work and getting a little more creative. So I'm glad it's getting recognized.
Yeah, nice work on those.
Well, thanks. Yeah, and that Mustang, the wrecked Gone in 60 Seconds, that's going to be another challenge for sure.
Super cool, yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. I feel best when I'm kind of out on the edge. You know, I like to kind of push myself on every build and really try to slow things down a little bit, you know, and take a little bit more time, add in that little extra detail, all the stuff that doesn't necessarily matter to everybody, but matters to me, you know. And,
Right on.
trying
Yeah.
to get more and more realism in these things. So just takes time.
Yep. Well, we saw a bunch of your stuff in the little intro there, and I have slideshows to be putting on tonight. Beautiful stuff, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, thanks.
I have
appreciate
my
it.
favorite. When we get there, I'll tell you which one it is, but it's tough to pick a favorite.
Yeah.
And I know you sent me a bunch of pictures saying use what I want. I think I used everything.
Did you?
I think.
Well, I never know. I mean, I've built so much stuff over the last 5 years, and you'll see when we kind of start talking about stuff, you know, I'm kind of all over the place with paints and different materials that I use, and trying to get, you know, continue to find new products, you know, and just to make things go a little bit quicker, smoother, good repeatability. You know, if you can do that, then the hope is you don't run into any snags. Now, it's not to
Right.
say that it doesn't happen, because it does, but you know, no, I'm looking forward to seeing what you picked.
Yeah, pretty much everything, but I saved some of them for like later in case we didn't get to them, you know. So Ron's got a question here. That's a tough one to answer on a short show here, but it takes a lot of luck to get a good YouTube channel going, which I got very lucky with mine. I mean, there are people that really struggle with the best content in the world, and they just can't get the subscribers. Something happened and something clicked and the stars aligned, and I got really lucky there. But Ron, just go for it, and you learn. Like I really had no clue, and when I started my channel, if you look at my very first introductory thing, I look like one of those hostages that's telling people at home, you know, like blink twice if you're safe or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah, right.
and then it evolves. So be yourself. Look at the camera, and don't look at the camera. You are looking at your friends. That's one big ticket is when you're talking, you're not talking to a camera, you're not talking to software, you're talking to fellow model builders, and you just get a lot more comfortable that way, and then the rest just comes to you. So that's a loaded question, but if you're thinking about doing it, man, let me know. You know, hit me an email if you start up, and I'll promote you and stuff. So good luck with that. So what do we got? We got 53 people in here currently, so that's a pretty nice show. Luck or talent? Oh, well, thank you. Talent in my case. Thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate it. So I'll tell you what, let's get into some of your builds. Let's take a look at some of these things here. Beautiful riv there.
Yeah. So I built this. This was probably 5 years ago. I built this. So this is painted with acrylic craft paint. So that's one of the mediums that I use on quite a bit of my builds. I've bought just a pile of craft paint. This was like a lavender metallic color. The interior is a different purple color. The underside, I did a lot of just brush painting, did quite a bit of engine detail, lowered it as much as I could. Those are the kit wheels. And this was an exercise in bare metal foil. That's been one of those things that's been a challenge for me over the years, and slowly getting better at it. You know, use my my visor for quite a bit of that stuff now, and I've learned some good trying to tips and tricks along the way. But yeah, this was a really fun build. Did a little bit of distributor wiring, added in some fuel lines. Again, just some brush painted detail on the underside of the hood there. This was just a really fun kit. The frame is all brush painted. I think I used Tamiya acrylics on all that. The exhaust. But I always try to put as much detail as I can on the bottom, inside as the outside, you know. So,
Yeah, nice build.
yeah,
Yeah,
that turned out great.
I'm trying to get there little by little. I'm starting to get a little more detail on my bottom sides and under the hood, or the interior.
Yeah.
Originally, I was thinking, well, you can't see that stuff, and at the shows they don't really lift the models and look or anything. So
Yeah.
mainly, if you're doing it for yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
But then again, you could display them on mirrors or whatnot. So
Yeah.
yeah, that looks
Yeah.
good.
I mean, I think for me, if you practice uh, painting, doing the detail and the stuff that people don't see and you get good at that, then just by default, it's going to be good on everything else. So, I try to take just as much time on everything, bottom side, inside, and add that level of detail, different paints and finishes, just because, again, it's not seen, but it's there.
Right.
Yeah, so this was painted a couple different colors of purple on the inside. I used bare metal foil. It's kind of a fun build. Again, this was back right after I kind of picked up an airbrush. This is all acrylic craft paint. The outside is all 2K clear. I use a PPG Omni brand clear for 2K, and I use different clears, satin, gloss, lacquer based clears to put on different things to add different sheens and looks. Because in a car, there's not one color or sheen. There's 50 different things, and I try my best to replicate that.
Yeah. Yeah. It shows in the work. Here's a guy named Blue Ox Model Shop 3405. All Jody's builds are fantastic. Jason.
My boy Jason.
But you are absolutely right, Jason. They are. Okay, so yeah, I thought I had written down what these slides were, but obviously they're pretty self-explanatory here. So another side profile there. Now this one, look at that. What is that? A 58 Caddy? I'm guessing.
This is the old 57 Cadillac Eldorado Brome. This is an early tooling. So this car was a 4-door originally, and I rescribed it as a 2-door. And this has a multi-piece body. It basically, just below kind of the middle of the car, it goes together in 2 pieces. The top and bottom go together, and then the roof is a separate piece. So what you're supposed to do is kind of build all the interior and then build the body around it. But what I did was did the body, did all the body work, rescribed it as a 2-door, grafted in the rear rocker trim panel and all that down along the rocker panel and above the rear wheel well. That's all grafted in. And then I lowered it as much as I could. It's got plastic wheels. I just painted rubber black. This, again, is all acrylic craft paint with 2K clear. Rescribed the door panels and everything to make it a true 2-door. And this thing, for a really kind of mediocre kit, it turned out really well. This was one of those Atlantis rebranded kits.
Okay.
So it was a Revell originally. I think it dates back to probably the late 50s is when this thing was out originally. So again, I kind of did all the body work, got everything painted, and assembled the interior around the finished body, did some brush painting on the bottom of it, and then put the roof and all that stuff on.
So are you still using craft paints now that you got like your Kaleidos out there and stuff?
Yep,
or
absolutely. Yep.
You are?
Yep.
So what's your recipe, or is that a secret for thinning?
I hold no secrets. Anybody that wants to know what I'm doing, get a hold of me, and I will tell them exactly what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. But the craft paint, I just cut it with rubbing alcohol. I know there's some kind of homemade thinners out there. People use, washer fluid, rubbing alcohol. I hear people add glycerine into it because it makes it a little bit more lubricated to come out, less dry tip. People add distilled water into it, but I don't. I just do rubbing alcohol, 90% or 70%. I've got the little Tamiya glass mixing jars. I put the craft paint, I'll shake it really well, put it in that, add the thinner to it, and just, continue to shake the bejesus out of it. Let it settle, shake it some more, let it settle, shake it, and keep adding the rubbing alcohol in to get it thin enough to where it sprays. Now, it's different than other paint. It takes a lot of light coats to build up, but it's, it dries super, super flat. The detail doesn't get hidden. The color palette is absolutely huge. If you ever go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's, there's the amount of crap paint that's available is just amazing. Not all of it works as good as some, but I've had pretty good success with it. The metallic flavors that they have out there just work really well. So here's a good picture of all the body work. You can see along the white line along the quarter panel up through the vent, and then along the midway through the fender, that's the body seam. That's where the body splits. And then that whole quarter panel trim piece down at the bottom and the rocker panel are a separate piece. So you can see I grafted all that stuff together, filled in the 4-door door, and then rescribed it as a 2.
Wow.
So when you look at it finished, it's hard to believe what it started as, because it was just not a great kit, but I was committed to it. And when you work through something like that, it helps you hone in your body skills. I kind of grew up in a body shop. My dad was an auto body man for many, many years. And through the one-to-one car work, I've built a number of cars. I've painted cars for friends, all stuff that's been in magazines across the world, actually. So picking up the airbrush was the thing that really elevated me into the next thing, And I know people get great paint jobs with spray cans. We're all walking a different path. But what I find, especially now I've gotten a little bit more into military, is the control with the airbrush, the ability to thin the materials, adjust air pressures, all those things, the faded paint jobs and stuff that I do. It'd be really hard doing that with an aerosol can,
Right.
And it's tough. Not everybody has the means to be able to do it. But, I picked up a couple of fairly inexpensive Iwata airbrushes. I've got a compressor. It's not an airbrush compressor, but just a small, quiet compressor I got from Lowe's. And the rest is history,
Right. Yeah, when I picked up the hobby too, just last year, I started right out with an airbrush too, and I had regular paint guns in my hand. I is no stranger to me. I've kind of used to that, so I think it really helped me. I picked up the airbrushing. I think by the 3rd or 4th kit, I was turning out some pretty smooth paint jobs.
Yeah.
First couple, not so nice, but
well, the first one I did with the craft paint and the 2K clear, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. I mean, I saw it on YouTube. I assume it works because you got a water-based paint, and then you're putting a solvent-based clear over the top. And the first one I did, I just couldn't believe it. I was blown away. So
okay.
I can't see all that question. The bottom's cut off, so you can read it to me.
Yeah, John's asking about the alcohol, if it made a difference between on results, whether it was 91% or say 70%.
Yeah, so it's very similarly to painting a car, right? We have different reducers that we use depending on temperature, humidity. You could do a slow, medium, fast reducer. You could do a slow, medium, fast hardener for clear, and different hardeners for enamel paint. So the 70% obviously is only 70% alcohol, meaning it's got more water or distilled water content. So that theoretically dries a little bit slower than what the 90 does. But either one work just as good. The 90, I think, dries a little bit quicker, flashes off a little bit better than the 70. But, depending on temperature, if it's really hot, I may go for the 70 versus the 90. But I find to gravitate more towards the 90% when I'm using it.
Good. Really good advice.
Yeah. I mean, I've mixed it with leveling thinner too. I mean, I've mixed it with cheap lacquer thinner. I mean, it all works to some degree, Again, I'm not scared to just try things, If it goes down in flames, and so be it, So
I've been using, because I watch all the YouTube videos myself, and I see the blue windshield washer fluid being the miracle stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been using, and it seems to work pretty good.
It does. I've used it. I've cut it with Pledge floor polish too. I mean, I've mixed it with all the above, and what I find is the 91 works really good. So.
Now, what's your favorite needle and nozzle combination for that?
So I've got a Iwata Neo 0.35 that I use for base coats. That's my kind of daily beat around airbrush. I use that quite often. So painting of parts and pieces and things. And then I've got a Iwata Revolution .5 is what I use for clear coats. And
Okay.
I will use that for the acrylics in some cases too. You know, the key is to try to thin it enough to spray through the 3.5. But if you thin it too much, it becomes too thin, and then you have to apply a lot of coats. To where if you mix it a little bit thicker, it'll cover a little bit better, but you may need to use the 0.5. So
Okay.
I don't do ratios, you know, pressures. I spray 25 to 30 psi typically, and I just get it thin enough to where it looks like it's good. Sometimes you got to adjust, add a little bit more thinner to reduce it down, and I'm willing to do that. Again, time with an airbrush is going to teach you the skills, right? When you start spraying, it's really dry. It's like, okay, I need to add more thinner, or maybe I need to, you know, slow the air pressure down a little bit, or maybe speed it up a little bit. But just time with the airbrush is really the biggest benefit. So
There are so many techniques, like I'm seeing in the comments there. Kevin likes the 0.5. I like the 0.3 family myself, and then I don't like the trigger or the fan tip airbrushes myself. I like the finger trigger thing.
yeah,
I think it's all personal preference. You know?
it is. That's what I'm using. I mean, I kind of grew up using, you know, an HVLP 2-stage gun, you know, so my airbrushes are the dual stage, where I know a lot of people still use the venerable, what is it? The Pache H, which is a great single action airbrush. I mean, a lot of people still use those. And if you're more familiar with a aerosol can, well, it's effectively the same thing. It's a single action. So when you press down, you're painting, versus press down air and then lightly apply the material, which is what you're using with an HVLP gun. So it was just a natural progression for me to just use those. And that's what works for me. So whatever works for you, you know.
Right.
I just bought a GSI Krios 0.2 recently. I haven't used it yet because getting more into military and the fade paint jobs, I wanted the smaller needle for a little bit finer work. And I haven't used it yet, but I'll be using it at some point soon too. So
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw that you're a little bit of everything. I saw some aircraft and military, and that's good. Yeah, I mean, so much goes into the airbrushing, and you were talking about like changing your mix if it's a little drier or whatever. I've also found just the speed of your passes. You know, there's times where I'm just going too fast, and I can see the finish coming down right in front of me. You know, and like in every video, I'm trying when I teach people in my tutorials, I'll say, look at the reflection in the light, and if it's going on nice and wet and looking, that's what you're going to get. But I do find myself sometimes just going a little too fast, and then you just slow that down. And different paints need to be different speed sometimes. There's somewhere I'm going like really slow across that bottle. You know.
They are a little bit different. And again, you learn to kind of work through that as you go. So I built this. This was probably 4 or 5 years ago. This, again, acrylic craft paint. It's 24 karat gold. And this is the Venerable 53 Ford pickup kit. Great kit. Lowered it as much as I could. It's pretty much box stock. Just painted, applied 2K clear, wet sanded, polished it out. The tonneau cover, the interior, under hood is all a champagne, kind of a champagne white color. And I applied like a matte clear on that because the tonneau cover and the vinyl obviously wouldn't be super shiny. So that's what I put on that. Again, I'm really big into textures and finishes and how things actually look. Little bit of pen work there on some wiring, and that turned out really good. That I really love that. It's a great kit for one. It's been out forever. We've all probably had at some point the opportunity to build one of these. If you haven't, go get one because they are a great builder. They come with a lot of spare parts, and it's a great model kit.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, that one really reflects in the light nice too.
Yeah.
Okay. So on your 2K clear, what are you using brand-wise?
Yeah, so it's Omni, which is a PPG. So PPG has different levels, right? They've got the shop line is a very basic. They've got Omni as kind of the next, and then they have the full-blown PPG clear up at the top, and it's all at a different price point. So a lot of the work that I've done over the years, I've used just the Omni clear, and it's really good clear. I've had really good luck with it. I bought a quart of it. I've been working on that same quart for probably 4 years. People say, once you open it, you got to use it within a week, which is total horseshit, because I've been using that same quart of clear for probably the last 4 or 5 years.
Oh.
And the hardener too, good friend of mine, Jim Rondos, is a Northeast guy here, really great model builder. We had a nice conversation at a show locally recently, because the clear mixture is 4-to-1, and 4 parts clear, 1 part hardener, and then I would reduce it by probably a half with a medium reducer just to thin it out. And Jim, we had a nice conversation, and he said, that works, and you're using a paint gun with a 1.3 tip, but if you are using an airbrush that's a 0.35 or 0.5, it could be reduced a lot more. So the last paint job I did, I reduced it 2-to-1 to half, and the clear laid down a lot better, a lot less work to get it to wet sand back.
Right. Sweet.
This was probably 3 years ago. I built this. This is the Consolidated Freightways model kit. So you had the choice of a day cab, short frame, single wheel, or extended, sleeper cab, extended wheel. And what I decided to do is use the extended with the day cab, lowered it a bunch, did a axle flip. So put the axle above the springs, had to notch the back. This is all painted with acrylic craft paint. It's a black metallic red, and then a silver for the panel inset. And this was a really fun project. Turned out really, really good. Had to raise the floor in it because the cab had the tires so tucked up underneath that it wouldn't fit up inside the cab. So I had to actually raise the cab floor to get it to work. So,
is that the AMT kit?
It's an AMT kit, yeah. Just horrible kits,
Yeah, I know. I only did the one. I did the Kenworth. My God,
that turned out great. The directions are there just to give you false hope.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that was my first patriotic theme, actually, red, white, and blue.
That turned out fantastic too, Ken. Nice work on that.
Thank you.
And this is all 2K clear over all this.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it turned out cool. That was a fun build,
So we were talking, not everything is a car.
Yep. So this is the USS Missouri. I built this as a club build. So I'm part of the Mount Mansfield Scale Model Club up here in Vermont, and we did a boat build a couple of years ago now. And this is the old, I think this is an old Revell or Monogram kit. And this is all, to me, acrylic jar paints. Did a bunch of weathering, used oil paints for all the streaking and all that stuff. A lot of washes up on the deck. I painted the deck tan and, airbrushed around a lot of that. Did a lot of masking, did some brush painting. And it turned out really well, for a first time doing a ship. It turned out pretty good. So
yeah, it really did. And I am a big fan of weathering, and that's the first thing I noticed when I saw this. Like, yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, the not a lot of people use oil paints. I've got a whole box of oil paints, just cheap oil paints I bought, and that's a great media. You use oil paints, a little bit of white spirits or mineral spirits thinner. You can kind of brush on your oil paint, and then just use the thinner in a brush to just kind of, dilute it and brush it in. It just creates a really nice finish. And that's a lot of what I did on this model here. So
now, is that safe over, say, like I use the MCW 2K clear enamel.
Yeah.
So would an oil base with mineral spirits be safe?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It should be. My suggestion would be just to try it.
Yeah.
this was all done right over the acrylic, and it didn't take off the acrylic paint. Well, let me think about it. I may have put a lacquer clear over it first as a like a seal-in coat before I did any of the weathering. I can't quite remember. It's been a while.
Very nice.
You can always just try it. Take a test hood or something and just see what it looks like.
Yeah.
But the oil paint works really good for weathering.
Good.
All of our panel liners we buy, the Tamiya stuff. Oftentimes one of my tricks that I use is if I've got a lighter colored car, I will use a oil paint that matches relatively close to that, maybe a little bit darker. I'm not a big fan of the really deep contrast of black on like a light color. So I'll use the oil paint, mix up my own panel liner, and I'll use that. So it just darkens it enough, tricks the eye to let them know that there is a separation, but not like in your face kind of separation,
Right. Good advice.
Yeah. I told you, I hold no secrets. I tell everybody what I'm doing. Go do it.
Yeah, and obviously I don't either. I share everything, so every one of my videos is essentially a tutorial. Each video may specialize in a little different subject matter. Sometimes it's this part and other times it's that part. But I had one guy early on in my videos where we were talking about something, and he criticized something, but he says, I have a technique much better, but I will take it to my grave or something like that. I'm like, oh, come on.
Then you don't. Yeah. I call BS on that.
Right. Pretty plain here.
Yep. So this was recently finished. This was let me see. This is a plain build with the Mount Mansfield Scale Model Club. This is a Tamiya Vote F4U1D Corsair. Kind of did my own custom mix of the blue, and then went back over the top with lacquer clear with a little bit of buff mixed in, so you can see there's kind of shading on all the individual panels, and it's all Tamiya acrylic paints. Turned out really well. I'm really happy with this. First show I took it to, I actually won a gold medal with this thing.
Oh, no kidding! Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, first time showing a plane in any category, so that was pretty cool. Turned out really well. I'm very fortunate up here in the Mount Mansfield Club. I'm surrounded by some just world-class military model builders. All my friends over the Model Insanity podcast and all those guys are great model builders. So a lot of good inspiration, a lot of good guidance from those guys. Again, I enjoy building cars, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But when you start doing these other things, it introduces you to new techniques, different things that ultimately benefit you and get you outside of your comfort zone over on the other side, when you get back to doing a car. So
yeah, that's true. In fact, Matt here, Matt's Models and More, when you were looking at the ship, he says he didn't see any tires on that one. Well, here you go. There are tires on the plane.
There is on this. Yes. Yeah, this is a great build. Turned out really well.
But speaking of weathering too, I learned my technique doing my model railroad stuff.
Oh yeah,
weathering my engines and freight cars and stuff. That's where I really learned the weathering, and then it really helped me when I did cars.
Those train guys, some of the military guys are at a different level. Some of the guys that do trains and layouts are just a step above that. It's just amazing.
Yeah, some of them are true artists. I would love to have like a really nice layout, but two things: one, I don't have the space, and two, for me, it's all about the hobby of building. So building models is fun because you can put it on a display case and it doesn't take up a lot of room. But a model railroad, I honestly, once I built that all out, I'd probably rarely play with it, because the fun is in the making. I'd have a good time doing it.
So this here, I left it just kind of the factory, if you will, blue, and I did all the sun staining on top. You can see the exhaust. I did a little bit of black wash coming out, and you can kind of see it here. You can see the individual panels. Went through and panel lined everything. It was all done. It just turned out really well. This is a 1/48 scale, so good. Not too small. Good size. 1/48 is a good scale for planes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one. I can't see it right now because of my green screen behind me, but it's a P40 Mustang, I think it is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I forget what scale that is. I think it's
yeah.
148.
P40 Warhawk.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Hobby Lobby special. But
yeah.
I got to get around to building that one of these days.
They're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. You know, the interior, you can do a really great interior detail. It gets lost in there. Once it's all put together, again, you do it because you want to do it.
Right.
So this is
We got some armor.
this is the Tamiya Easy 8 Sherman. So we built this. All of us on the Sunday Live built this kit. So myself, Jason Hanscom, Tim Ryan, Justin Ryan started building his. I don't think he's finished his yet. BG built one, and Tim, Jason, and myself unveiled these at the Down East Con show in the southern part of Maine earlier this year. So again, this is all Tamiya acrylic. I used a bunch of different oil paints to create different effects. I used some acrylic mud that I purchased for weathering of the tracks. I'm going to do a small vignette for this and put it on there still. Just haven't got to it yet. But this was a really fun build.
Nice build.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep. So we got some comments going on here. See if we got anything here. I saw somebody asked earlier what you do for a living. Do you mind telling us? Sure.
Yeah, so I'm by trade, I'm an electrician, master electrician, and I actually work for the state of Vermont. I'm a state electrical inspector, so I'm one of 8. I've got kind of a territory. The upper northwest corner of Vermont where I live is my area. So that's my primary job, and then I also teach. I've been an employee of Vermont State College here for the last 15 years, teaching year 1 electrical apprenticeship. So I've had a lot of kids kind of come through year 1 through me. And then when I don't do that stuff, I build scale models for Auto Modeler magazine and do kit reviews. So that's a pretty steady thing. You know, I kind of fit that in when I can. The teaching season runs from November through like May. So about 6 months, but I've got a couple of classes that I just started teaching this year that kind of fill in a little bit throughout the off season, if you will. So keep a pretty steady, busy work life. So
good. My lovely wife just handed me a little note here, so be fair warned, everybody. We may lose power. Thunderstorm is starting now.
Oh boy!
Yesterday our power went out like 3 times. I think it was the grid couldn't keep up with all the air conditioners.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Only went out for a couple of minutes each time, but it was like all those Teslas being plugged in.
There you go.
So hopefully we don't lose power. Sometimes we'll just see. So very nice. Okay, so let's get to another one. Another pretty one here.
Yeah. So this was a $15 NNL East 2025 pickup. This is the Mini Craft Rolls Royce. This was a Humbrol kit or something, I think, originally, and it was rebranded Mini Craft. So I bought it, and I got the bright idea. When I bought it, my plan all along was to build it in a pro touring kind of guise. So I got the bright idea to take this. I took a C5 Corvette chassis and did a bunch of scratch building. I had to extend the chassis, built the firewall, all the underhood pieces, did all the fender wells. So you can see it's got a full C5 Vet chassis under it. Yeah, I got the wheels. They're like a modular Corvette solid shooter wheel I've got from Jay's Resin Wheels off of eBay. The trunk opens on this kit. It came opening, and I left it so it could open. Top is a bronze acrylic craft paint. The bottom is a champagne colored acrylic craft paint. And then the red is a metallic lacquer just to split the 2 up. The interior, so I had to raise the floor in this and completely redo all the floor to get the chassis to tuck up physically up under, because I wanted the chassis to be flat with the rocker panels. So flocking on the floor, flocking in the trunk, 3D printed shifter. I used a Tamiya jar paint and mixed it with a semi-gloss lacquer clear to give it kind of a leather sheen. And I grabbed a couple of things out of another kit. Turned out really well. The hood hinges kind of in the middle. Like I said, it's got all sorts of scratch building on the underneath, all the front fender wells, rear fender wells. The front chassis was extended. I had to widen it, the whole back. So from basically the exhaust back is all scratch built. So a lot of work. I worked on this for a couple months, I guess, to get it completed.
Here's a zoomed in shot, so I couldn't remember if this was in the trunk or the back seat.
That's the trunk.
The money.
Yeah.
Nice
money
touch.
in the jewel case. Yeah.
Nice touch. Oh boy,
That was a fun build.
I hear the thunder starting out there, even with my headphones on.
Oh, boy.
And I'm in the basement, so you can tell it's going on pretty good. So, okay. Let's see. So we were on the Rolls Royce. I think we got a gasser coming up here. Let me take a look here. Yeah, here we go.
Oh yeah.
58 Chevy gasser.
Yeah, 58 Chevy. This has opening doors on it. From that's the way it was molded. Old AMT kit. Scratch built all the front end, so the springs are all scratch built. I removed all the moldings. Or what I did was I marked it all out, drilled all the holes first, so it looked like the moldings were removed, kind of like you pulled this thing out of the junkyard. Scratch built the roll bar, detailed the interior. The headers were scratch built out of copper wire. And this has a craft paint with a satin clear over the top. This is a really fun build. I built this probably 3-4 years ago.
Really nice looking upholstery there. Is that decal or fabric or?
No, it's painted. It's masked and painted.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I do.
Let me say it a third time. Wow.
Yeah, I do a lot of masking, Ken, and it's a lot of work, but the results speak for themselves.
Yeah. It does pay off when you take the time.
Did some wiring, did some fuel system plumbing. Again, the headers are all scratch built. It was a fun. So I love the Tri-5 Chevys, but by far my favorite is the 58. And if I could have one, this would be what I have. Did a little bit of dusting on the bottom, added in a little bit of black for exhaust soot. This was a fun build too.
Yeah, I'm with you too. The Tri-5s, if I had to pick one of them, it would be the 56. But
Yeah.
I agree. The 58 is my favorite. I think I really fell in love with that on American Graffiti.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, the 58s are great. I love them. A little bit of tire rubber on the rear quarters. Again, you can see where I drilled all the trim out.
Yeah.
I kind of want it to be somebody went to the junkyard, pulled this thing out, and made a gasser out of it, So that was kind of the theme I was going for when I built it. So.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Bill likes your wire work. I agree,
Thanks.
Bill. Okay, then we go on to the van. Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty.
So I built this for Mr. Jason Hanscom's Street Machine group build there 2 years ago. That's 3 years ago now. This is the surfer van kit. This is painted with Tamiya metallic orange lacquer. So I painted it all, base coat, applied all the decals, and then did 2K over the top. The panel liners, pretty much out of the box. The surfboards were painted with just acrylic paints. Cut out the window bubbles. This one turned out really well. This was really kind of the introduction of me to Jason. Kind of reached out to him and kind of befriended each other, and we're pretty much brothers in plastic now, so chum around quite a bit.
Yeah.
The inside, I did felt on the inside. You can't really see it. Scratch built a bong. It's sitting on the passenger seat. You can't see that either, but kind of a surfer van, was a really fun build. Turned out really well.
Yeah, I got to get a van. I haven't built one. Well, I have one to build. I just haven't built it yet.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cool. Very
yeah.
nice.
No,
Edsel.
the
What a
58
nice choice of color for that Edsel.
the 58 Edsel. So this is again painted with acrylic craft paint, the pink and silver both. The interior is a garnet red with a silver. So this is one of these. It's very easy to overlook the detail. So it's got Pegasus wheels on it. But what I did is I took the 2011 Mustang GT500 and basically took all the running gear, the suspension, everything out of that, and grafted it to the chassis of the Edsel. So the rear end was narrowed a couple times. I narrowed the front chassis, narrowed the sway bars. I mean, basically used everything from the Mustang. No 3D printed parts, no resin, none of that stuff. This is all plastic.
Nice.
Yeah. So you can see the front subframe is all out of the Mustang. The sway bars again were narrowed. I narrowed the rear. I really try to make things really cohesive. You know, I try not to leave gaps. You know, I like to make it appear like it'd be the real thing. You know, and again, it's a lot of work that kind of gets overlooked sometimes. But you can see, you know, all that stuff, the sway bars, all that stuff was narrowed. I had to narrow the chassis or the subframe. I added pickup points for all of that. The sway bar for the rear was narrowed a bunch, kind of stuffed up underneath. Used the Mustang exhaust, just shortened it up, and used the metal tips right on the mufflers. It was a really fun build. This was when I was really starting to get deep into detail and kind of more and more scratch building, modifications. This one turned out really, really well. It's one of my favorites.
It certainly did. Man, I'll tell you, yeah, your details look good. I mean, it looks like it can run.
That's always the hope. Yeah.
Now look at the spare tire well there on the bottom side of the trunk, how narrow that is compared to what's on there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a garnet red inside and silver. Did bare metal foil on all the interior. Again, stuff that's not really seen, but the interior turned out really, really well in there.
Yeah, man, I tell you, your builds are beautiful, my friend.
Thanks, Ken. It means a lot to me to say that.
Oops, switch the camera. There we go. Okay. Uh-oh, Kevin lost power. He's in Akron, so he's an hour west of me. So if I'm getting his weather, and it looks like I am, I doubt if we'll be on for another hour. So hopefully we'll be all right.
We'll go till we get booted.
That's right. That's right. Then we'll try to come back on, just see what happens. So
Yeah.
okay. What do we got? I got more here. I got more. Let's see.
Oh,
Sweet.
yeah.
Sweet.
Yep. So growing up, my favorite trend, I've been collecting hot rod magazines for 40 years. Trey Trepanier, he's out there in, where is he? He's in Illinois. He was the guy that built a lot of really cool Pro Street cars back in the day. This is the Mobius Hudson kit, and I took the 67 Chevelle Pro Street kit and basically mated the two together. So this is all painted with acrylic craft paint. It's an emerald green, mint green on the bottom, and it's very tough to see, but there's a teal color that separates the two colors right at the base of the roof. So a lot of body work. This had moldings and stuff on it. I shaved all the moldings off. I opened up the wheel housings in the back. I basically took the fender skirt off so you could see the wheel. The interior, the dash and package tray is painted that same green, so it kind of extends that roof color to the inside. I used the technique to replicate tweed interior. Used acrylic craft paint, really low pressure, and just kind of spattered it on so it looks a lot like tweed. Used the big block Chevy out of the parts box, TPI. There are plug wires and stuff on there. It's all hidden, made headers from scratch out of silver solder. You know, it doesn't look like there's stuff. It looks like stuff's missing. It's just not there by design.
Right.
But
yeah.
so
a clean custom.
So
right.
go back to that last slide. So if you look and see right where the exhaust is, the Chevelle, basically I cut the frame on the Hudson right about where that exhaust is. So that whole rear section is from the 67 Chevelle. I grafted that to the Hudson frame and floor pan.
Oh,
I then went back. So the bead roll detail, I added that to the Hudson floor pan. So the little bit that you see on the bottom of the floor, I added all that in. And again, this it's silver solder for the exhaust. And I used the Chevelle Super Traps because that was big at the time that this car was built or thought of. And then it's all 2K clear there on the bottom.
So what'd you do? Just emboss some sheet, thin sheet or something to do those?
I use round styrene rod.
Oh, okay.
Just glued it to it and used a little bit of filler and just kind of filled in around it and did a little bit of body work. It's not perfect, but I wanted to capture that bead roll detail, so I just brought it forward and added it to the floor pans of the Mobius kit.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what, too. You know, this Mustang. Let me take that off for just a second here. Ooh, let's get the cameras right. Okay, so this foil that I was showing earlier.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I mean, this looks like it can have good uses too, because you could put that like on a floor pan or something and carve in or emboss it. Which really acting weird with my green screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. Where did you buy that stuff, Ken?
Got it on Amazon.
Okay.
I'll add a link to my videos, or I'll email you a video. It's like 1 foot by 10 feet for like $12. So
nice.
It's like a lifetime supply.
Yeah. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, because I couldn't figure out regular aluminum foil was way too delicate for that, and then this is just on the verge of being like almost too thick to form, but you know, I was able to build or get a pretty good fender profile there. It just took some time. So yeah, really cool stuff. I'm excited about trying that, but I can see where there's going to be other uses for that.
Yeah, I'm always looking to add to I've got a huge scratch building kit over here. I had an old bin full of stuff. I've been collecting that stuff for years. So good picture. Again, you can barely see it, but there's a teal kind of dividing line that runs around the hood, down along, and then right along the base of the roof. You can see the green, or I pulled into the dash and package tray. So a lot of thought went into getting that just the way it is, you know.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's a great kit.
Any trophy winners other than the plane? You mentioned that you won a gold.
Yeah. So this, I won a gold with this, or first place. The pink car,
you had to.
Yeah, the Edsel. I can't remember if that won anything or not. You know, oftentimes things get overlooked. You know, and again, if people really understand the amount of work that goes into making them the way they are, they would be judged a little bit differently. But at the end of the day, awards are great. It's not really why I go do these things. You know, I enjoy just talking shop, you know, and just kind of showing the stuff off and helping people if I can, and finding inspiration from others, because when I come back from a show, you know, I got 50 new ideas, and
well, that's what's
raring to go, you know.
Like you mentioned me moving out of my comfort zone. It's from the shows. After seeing what's out there, it's like, oh man, I got to try that, you know?
Yeah.
So Mikey over here at Scale Model Outlaw uses cigarette wrappers to do floor pans and stuff. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Good suggestion.
So you can see it's a very tweed-looking interior in that.
Yes, it is.
It's all painted that same emerald green color, and I used a like a light mint green color. And again, it's acrylic paint. Just slowed the air pressure way down, and it just kind of spit out on there, and it created this very tweed-looking texture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really cool, because it does. It looks like tweed.
It does. Yeah, it turned out really good. Again, I'm not scared to try things. This was a group build I did on Instagram group build, which was chop top and engine swap. So this is the 29 Ford Woody kit. I chopped the top about 1/4 of an inch, and the engine in this, oddly enough, you had the Hudson just before. This is the Hudson engine from the Mobius kit. So
okay.
I figured that would be a great swap to put in this. Did some weathering on this. I used the hairspray chipping method. So laid down the primer base first, which was just a Rust-Oleum, brown primer, and then a couple coats of hairspray. And then this is Tamiya royal blue acrylic jar paint through the airbrush. And then just a little bit of warm water, stiff bristle brush, reactivates the hairspray, and you can actually chip the paint off. So reuse the exhaust from the Hudson kit that I didn't use for the Pro Street Hudson, and turned out really good. It's got a nice weather paint job, chop top, engine swap, AMT parts pack, chrome reverse wheels. This was a fun build.
It came out outstanding. I love doing shiny cars, but I love patina. And when I'm at a show too, I'll stop probably more at a patina car than I will a shiny car and just admire the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Thanks. That was a fun build.
And then I think we got a Galaxy next. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Talk about pizzazz here.
Yeah. So I basically threw the kitchen sink at this. So this is my first kind of panel paint job, lowrider paint job, if you will. The dark purple panels on the roof, the hood and the trunk are all laced. The light purple color on the sides is a nail polish, and then the pink sparkly is nail polish. It's got the base. It's all based with a Tamiya silver lacquer, and then I use the Createx Candy 2.0, the deep purple over the. I laid the lace down, sprayed a couple coats of the Candy 2.0, peeled the lace off, and then put a couple more layers to darken it up. And then the whole thing got slathered in 2K clear. This is just a curbside kit.
Yeah, sweet, man.
Yeah.
So that's got the chrome headlights on there.
It does.
I noticed on the Kaleido clear colors that came out, they have what's called a clear white.
Oh, yeah.
And I tried that on one of these chrome headlights. It really helped make that look a little more real. I put that on there, and then I glossed it up with I think it was either Mod. Yeah, I used some wet Mod Podge to kind of gloss it up that white, but just giving it a little bit of milky white really made those chrome headlights look better.
I typically will black wash over them, and then let it set up, wash, wipe off the black wash, and then apply clear, just Tamiya clear over it to make it kind of look like glass.
So
again, you can kind of see the purple. This car came molded with a single exhaust, and I wanted to run duals out the back, so I actually scratch built the whole second exhaust for this thing, front to back. Interior's two-tone. It's got flocking on the floor. That's again painted. I masked it. It's semi-gloss black and light metallic, I think, or light gunmetal is the inserts. The goofy things on the back I pulled out of the parts box just for speaker grills.
Reel-to-reel stereo.
Yeah, painted up the reel-to-reel, put it on the front seat. Again, you can see the flocking on the floor.
Yeah. That was one of my favorites. I told you I had a couple that I had picked out, but that Galaxy
really?
That just jumped out at me.
Fantastic.
It's hard to pick a favorite though when somebody's such a good builder like you. But
thanks.
there's a couple that just caught my eye. And
this is, you can see the lace. This one. This is won 2 or 3 golds at the shows.
Cool. Yeah. Do you follow Leadham Rack or Dano Leadham's custom?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, all
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah, he
They're
just started that channel, and I've been watching him. I just haven't delved into the like what you did here. I haven't delved into the many layers, but
this was the first time doing it. It looks good in pictures. It's not perfect. You can kind of see mask outlines and things, and I definitely learned a lot on by doing this.
yeah,
What to do on the next one, but it was just an exercise. You know, it was a very inexpensive kit. It was it's a curbside kit. So I figured, what the hell, I'll give it a shot. If it turns out okay, it's about the learning process, and you figure stuff out. So when I do it next time, I know what I need to do better. you know.
right.
So
Yeah. In fact, I think I've got some old early '60s Chevy Impalas. So one of them is screaming
yeah.
out for a paint job like that. I'll probably do a low rider.
Absolutely.
I picked a low rider for one of them, and the other I want to do the Cheech and Chong.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, this was a really fun build. This has the aftermarket Pegasus wheels on it. Again, I lowered it as much as I could. Scratch built that second exhaust. Add a little bit of brush painting detail on the bottom side of it.
Then we got a Mobius, I'm guessing, right here, right?
Yeah, this is the Mobius. A lot of scratch building on this. So this is painted with Tamiya jar paint, the royal blue and light blue on the roof with 2K clear. The suspension is all 100% scratch built on this. I scratch built all the long arm suspension, scratch built the coilovers. The exhaust is aluminum tubing, 3D printed mufflers. It's got a MCB Products Coyote engine in it. I did some scratch building on the side of the hood, made all the wiring harnesses. The little heat shield under the filter is a top of a yogurt container, the foil. I save them. I use that for the heat shield. A little bit of brake line detail, just kind of scratch built the wiring harnesses and the battery. Did a kind of a leather look on the interior. This thing turned out really, really well. It's got MCB Products 3D printed slotted wheels and tires on it. Again, the chassis, I stripped the chassis and basically scratch built everything on the underside.
Kevin. Come on, Kevin. Don't put it away. You can do it.
Yeah.
He's one of those master builders. I don't know what he's talking about.
This one turned out really well.
I can't zoom in there, but what did you use to tie in that harness there to do like the stripes, like the wire ties?
Yeah, so I use another trick. Write this down, everybody. Hopefully everybody's paying attention. I keep the bread ties off of a loaf of bread. Just strip the paper coating off. You got a really fine wire. I use that. Wrap it, twist it, trim them.
Okay. Simple enough.
Yep, you can roll them around, tuck them underneath so you can't see them. It really helps hold all the wiring together.
You're going to get quizzed on this later, folks, so do pay attention.
Yeah. The little relay box is just scratch built. The other computer box, again, I just kind of I debuted this at NNL East last year because they had Mobius trucks was one of the categories. And I got done from there and I came home and did all the underhood detail. Added all that stuff in after.
Yeah, sweet.
Turned out really, really good. Again, 2K clear over that acrylic jar paint. Yeah, I love that truck. That thing turned out really, really good.
Cool. Oh, I'll check the comments here, see if we're missing anything. Bill over here, River Rat says the foil seals off a coffee creamer is another good thing. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was YouTube or one of the, I saw it somewhere, that foil, cream cheese packages, container, the lid off of yogurts make really good heat shield material on the underside of the vehicle. I've used bare metal foil, but that stuff works really good because it easily conforms.
Yeah.
Just glue it down and it's got texture and it looks just like All
You know
simple
what's
stuff.
you know what's funny is my wife Debbie. She's a very crafty person too. And she's like all over the place. I mean, she does painting rocks and she does crocheting. She does greeting cards, but then she just scratch builds stuff. She does woodworking,
Oh,
cutouts and
nice. Yeah,
stuff. I
yeah.
mean, she's actually more of a hobbyist than I am. But for all these years we've been together, almost 30, she just like saves all these peculiar things. Like, oh, come on, let me throw that away. Nope, you can't throw that away. Got to keep it. Got to keep it.
Yeah.
I tease her because even toilets, like I replaced a toilet once. You can't throw that toilet away. What are you gonna do? She wanted to put it in the yard and put flowers in it,
There you
which
go.
it would be nice if we had a place like out in the woods or something.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, not that we have an HOA, but we are in a neighborhood. Here, you
Yeah,
can't
that's
put a
right.
toilet out front.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, she's got me on that mindset now.
Yeah.
And when we go to places like Michael's and stuff, I used to be so bored walking those places. Now it's like I get buried in the thread section.
It's a treasure trove. I go into Hobby Lobby, same thing. There's so much like beading and different gauge wires. That whole section over there for making jewelry. There's all sorts of stuff over there that can be used in model building. That's where I get all my brake lines and fuel lines. That's where I get a lot of that stuff is from over there.
Awesome. Yeah, no kidding. Yep, I've learned that way. Very nice. Now we
Yeah.
got a funny car here.
Yeah.
Now is that model off a real car? I'm not familiar with that.
It is, yeah. So it's a Big John Masmanian. I think this is a 68 or 69 Barracuda funny car back in the day. This is a Polar Lights kit. And this is actually painted with, I decanted Duplicolor Inferno Red. So decanted it, ran it through the airbrush, 2K clear. So what I did was I painted it, put the decals on, then 2K'd over the top. This one turned out really, really well. I'm super happy with this. Did a full wiring and fuel system plumbing, MCV products, 3D printed fittings. When I was at NNL East last year, I bought a pile of Protec, braided lines. So it's got all the fuel system plumbing. I added a little bit of parachute detail on the back. This is one of my favorites. This thing turned out really, really well.
Yeah, it makes me want to build my Blue Max. I have the 71 Blue Max Mach 1
Yeah,
car to do yet.
I think I've got that kit down in the stash as well.
I built it when I was a kid, so but
did you? No kidding.
it was pretty much a hack job then, of course.
Yeah, I've since bought not this exact kit, but they put out a number of these Polar Lights kits. It's based on that same chassis, but I bought 2 or 3 more at shows just this year. So I'm looking forward to doing another one of these here at some point soon. So,
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I'm building right here. Or one of my upcoming builds is going
Yep.
to be my shop truck.
So this was built for Auto Modeler magazine. This is the Mobius sedan delivery kit. So I'm a member of this now Mansfield Scale Model Club up here, but I'm also a member of the Town of Newburgh Model Car Club. So Doug White, Rick Hanmore, all these like really deeply vetted guys in the hobby. I was very fortunate to be part of that club. I kind of met and befriended Mike Felix, who lives up here by me. And Mike connected me to Scott Comer from Auto Modeler, and kind of the rest is history, And this was built in a couple weeks for the magazine. And this is actually the Createx paint system. So this is Createx, I think it's shimmering aluminum base coat, and then the Candy 2.0 teal over the top. And this is 100% box stock and 2K clear over the top. Thing turned out really, really well. These old Galaxy kits, Mobius kits, are just absolutely killer. The only weird thing about these is the fenders go on kind of after, but I actually kind of aligned everything, got the fenders all glued on before, so the whole thing could be put together, painted before it got put together.
Right.
So it was a little bit of a trip, but what a great kit. Turned out really well.
Yeah, that's on my list here. Hang on a second. I'll make myself big. So I don't know what. Wrong one. Hold on. I don't know what made me do this, but Jimmy Flintstone had this extended
Oh
body
yeah,
for that. But actually now I'm considering probably using the stock body. I don't know, but I
that's
wanted it because it was unique.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, but I think I'll find a way to do it. You know, still possibly my art. I'm still roughing that out.
be pretty easy to extend the chassis and all that stuff. You could do that easy enough.
Yeah, I was looking at that. There's some nice places where I can just section and cut that, and
Yeah,
I'm thinking about even opening. It's like a limo door on the side there. This where
yeah,
this middle window is it's a big door, so
yeah,
maybe do an open door there and then have
yeah,
something cool inside. So
yeah.
alrighty, so I'll get back to yours because we were looking at that one.
I did the old Winfield fade with this. So it's tough to tell, but it's darker in the middle and it gets progressively lighter up to the top, to that silver fade at the top, and then silver fade down at the bottom.
Oh yeah, okay, I can see
Yeah,
it now.
yeah. It's a little bit deeper right through the center, and it gets lighter as it goes up and down. So again, I built this thing in like 2 weeks.
Now, what I noticed on my body too, there on the stock body, there's like this little nub on that side of the body panel. What's that for? Do you know?
That's
In front of the back wheel.
It's the gas cap.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the gas cap.
All right. Yeah, because it kind of stands out. I'm like, what is that for?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the gas filler.
Now, this was my favorite. This
Man,
one,
I love.
I just love this one.
I love this car. So this is the what inspired me to do this. So I wanted to build kind of a modern hot rod. So this is the Revell 56 Nomad kit. It's got a very, very early Iceman Collections 3D printed LSX engine. It's got MCV Products wheels. This is painted with PPG DBC Deltron base coat Victory Red. And then I bought the Lazy Modeler mask from Lazy Modeler out of he's out of Australia, and the flames are all painted using the Tamiya lacquer, white, pure yellow, pure orange. There's the LSX, a little bit of wiring, did some good underhood detail, added some brake lines. The grill, first time I've ever opened a grill opening, took forever to open the back of the grill. I sanded it all out, but 2K over the top. The rear wheels the rear end had to be narrowed. The rear frame rails were narrowed. You can kind of see through the grill right there. So open up all
Nice.
the grill on the back. Had to make wheel tubs in the back. I had to actually make new interior rear panels, because when I narrowed the rear, the tires actually got up into the interior tub. So I took just sheet plastic and kind of formed them and rebuilt all that. So again, they need to be cohesive.
Right.
So a lot of that stuff was done, and you can't, if I don't tell you, you wouldn't know it, because it looks pretty seamless.
Yeah.
The inside's painted just DBC with no clear on it.
Yeah, the finish on that thing, it's just beautiful. This one, definitely my favorite.
Did you see it at it was at NNL East?
I don't recall if I saw it or not.
Yeah, it was there.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a really great build.
Yeah. Very
Used all the
nice.
stock exhaust and just kind of rerouted things. And
Yeah, I have one of those flame masks too from the same guy. I haven't used it yet. I got to pick out the kit for that.
so the key is, when you put it on, make sure it's all lined really well, and you really got to burnish it down really well so it sticks. So when I did it, I got it all applied. So I had all the red base coat done. I put the mask on, and I put the white down first, and then went back and did the yellow and orange. But I had to really go back and kind of burnish it down to make sure it would stick down. And it actually worked really, really well. I was impressed.
Okay.
But again, the whole rear end's been narrowed. The springs were moved inward versus outward of the frame. 2K'd on the bottom. I mean, the bottom side of this thing turned out it's nicer on the bottom than it is the top.
Right. Okay,
And-
Chet, to be honest with you, every one of them, is my favorite.
So the frame is painted a metallic, light metallic color. So the frame's all integral to the chassis pan. So I actually masked that all off to paint it separately and then clear it over it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thanks.
Getting back to that mask, between that mask and watching Grandpa Mark and watching Kevin or Craig at Craig's Corner, I'm buying me a Cricut machine. I don't know if you've ever tried that yet, but masking, because you can make your own.
Yeah, you
can
can
make your own mask for stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've been perfecting my own decals, but there's a lot of limitations with it.
Yeah, you're doing great with that. I've yet to buy a printer to print my own decals. It's on my list. I kind of really don't want to get into the whole 3D printer rabbit hole because
it's a rabbit hole.
I'm a rabbit hole myself. So I just as soon buy the parts. But I would like to get into decals, custom decals at some point.
Yeah. It's really neat. I mean, everybody boasts about who is it, STS, but man, I mean, he's booked out like 12 weeks. I don't plan my stuff out like that. It'd be great if I sat down in January and said, okay, this year I'm going to build these 10 cars. In October I'm going to build this, so let me get hold of STS. I'm like on the whim. So if I decide to build now, in 3, 4, or 5 weeks I'm going to be done. So I had to force myself to do my own. But there's limitations, you can't on a black car, you have to use the white paper, but then it gets really tricky because you may have white where you don't want it, unless you're really good with the X-Acto knife. But that's why I like the idea of the Cricut is you could do a lot of stuff there. You can paint on your graphics,
Yeah. I've thought about getting into one of those as well. Again, they're all rabbit holes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I was actually going to buy one to do the Mustang that I did, the 250th anniversary.
Yeah.
But I knew that with the short deadline coming up, it's going to take a learning curve, and I didn't have time to do the learning curve for the deadline. So I'm going to get one.
Yep. This is the 29 Model A, the venerable Revell 29 Model A. Great kit. Did the hairspray chipping on this again. Brown primer base, hairspray. This is to me a cockpit green over the top, and then went back. Warm water stiff bristle brush, 3D printed wheels and tires, stock engine out of the kit, but this has got a VCG resins, 6-barrel carb setup. Did a little bit of wiring on it. This was another group, but I can't remember what I built this for. But this one turned out really well. It was a lot of fun. Built this in probably about a month. I would say all stock. It's all kit except the 3D printed wheels and tires, and that 6-barrel setup.
Nice.
Did a maroon kind of leather look on the inside for the seat. Turned out well. It was another fun little build. That's a great kit. If you've never bought one of those, that 29 Model A. It's the black one on the cover.
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah,
I got one on my shelf back there.
Yeah.
Well, not these shelves. This is fake.
Yeah, you can do a low boy roadster. You can do a high boy roadster with it. It's got a bunch of different options. So, great kit.
Sweet. Avante.
This is one of my latest. I built this for NNL East, and because they had the 63 category. So it started with the AMT Avanti kit. This has MCB Products 3D printed wheels and tires. I chose those specifically because if you look at this car from the side, the wheel wells kind of wrap around, and that curvature on the wheel well matched really well to the curvature of the spoke. So this has a MCB Products, this has got an Iceman Collections Show LSX engine in it. It's got opening doors. Spent a lot of time getting the doors to operate functionally. It's got magnets inside the door jambs, front and back, so the doors actually like click shut when they shut.
Nice.
The paint is a custom mix of acrylic craft paint, 2K clear. So I spent about a little over 2 months on this, but I hadn't put a lick of paint on it up until 9 days before NNL East. I didn't think I was going to make it, so I painted this whole model and assembled it in 9 days.
Wow.
Yeah,
So the car still smelled like paint when you were
it did. It
driving.
did. Yeah, had to narrow the rear end, had to build wheel wells in the back, smooth out under the hood. All white on the inside. It's got white flocking on the floor.
Nice.
Did a gray panel liner on the gauge faces, so it has a gray color. Did a white on the inside to make, once again, kind of a dark color, really make the interior pop. But doors shut really nice under the hood. The drivetrain's all painted that same white color. Added bare metal foil to detail the Chevy logo. Added in, hoses, radiator hoses. Did a bunch of work to get that engine to fit down in there. Good picture of it, everything opened up.
Yeah.
Really happy with the outcome of this thing. It's a great. The kit itself sucks, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of work to make it nice. But if you spend the time getting the doors to fit properly, there's a lot you can do. But you got to work the hood, the fender, the hood gap, the door gaps to make everything work. Again, it's all in the planning stages. I had to do a bunch of work to get the front wheels to fit up under, a bunch of work in the back to get them to fit up under. But it's got a really nice stance on it. The paint is just killer.
Look at that in the sunlight.
Really dark purple. It looks very brownish, but it's got a really dark purple hue to it. It's I took a purple craft paint, added black to it to darken it up, and then put a 24 karat gold in it to give it all that metallic. The wheels are painted a gloss black and then AK Extreme Metal Chrome for the chrome on the wheels. Good picture of the finished interior. Painted up the brake disc and the calipers, and to me a rubber black for the wheels, for the tires. I'm sorry.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was a great build. It's one of my favorites. Always the last one's your favorite, right, Ken?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah. I always tell people I haven't built my favorite yet. It's always the next one. It's the next opportunity, but surely the one that's fresh on the bench is the one that seems to be the one, So.
Well, I was really proud of some of the stuff I built last year, especially being a beginner, but they were more on the box stock side. And they still are very pretty models, but this year, I'm falling in love with my work now. I mean, I can look at like that Mustang there and like, man, that is sweet.
Yeah. You're doing great. I mean, I saw all your stuff at NNL East. They all look fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
You do a great job over there. I appreciate you.
Great. Well, I love being in this community. It's just so much fun meeting guys like yourself. I mean, this is what it's all about. It's just, I'm having more fun than a person has a right to,
Yeah. I told you, I enjoy the process of building a model. I look at it. I think about it for a while before I jump in. I start putting bits and pieces together. The box stock, I still do plenty of box stock stuff. I just finished this Nissan Skyline GTR 2000. You may have saw it on my Facebook page. That turned out really, really well, and I, again, hyper-focused on the details, trying to make it look realistic, really super clean box stock build, which is very easy with a Tamiya kit because they fit together really nice. And, when I do the customs, I just start gathering pieces, either find something that is inspiration, or I just kind of look at it. Again, I've been in cars my whole life, so the memory bank kind of jogs, think about things you've seen. And it's like, that would be really cool. Or you find images on the internet. It's like, so the Street Machine group build this year, I'm building a 69 Cobra Jet Mustang, and it was a picture found on the internet. So it's going to be really neat when it's done.
Cool. So. Now, I heard Jason say that he's going to Acme. Are you going to make it down there this year?
It's probably not in the cards for me this year, just because the fall. So the teaching season starts up right around the beginning of November. So it would be, that trip would be just before, and that's a long car trip for me. If I was going to go, I would probably fly. And I haven't made that decision yet, one way or the other. So we got a great show with NNL East, and I'm fortunate that that's within driving distance. It'd be great to take in Acme for sure, and meet some guys that I haven't met yet, builders I haven't met yet. But my local shows, NNL East, I'm very fortunate that I have those all within driving distance. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to Acme this year. I got my whole trip booked out, but that one is a long haul. We're going to make it into a vacation. We're going to go to the Smoky Mountains.
yeah,
We're going to check out Gatlinburg, and
nice.
Debbie wants to see Dollywood, so we'll probably do a day at least at Dollywood. And,
Yeah.
And it's going to be pretty in October down there.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm with you. NNL East even from Northeast Ohio is only like 5.5 hours. So
Oh no, no kidding.
so,
That's not too bad.
that one I could probably make every year without any problem. But
That's about what it is for me down there. It's about five-ish. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, when we do shows like that, because you meet so many different people that you've already seen on YouTube or whatever, and we're all coming from different areas. But what's nice is where those shows are located, we can converge, be there.
Yeah, it's a great show, and a lot of great builders, a lot of talent. I feel I've come a long way. I've got a ways to go, but I go down there and see some of that stuff, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this, But
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the challenge is to continue to move forward, So
It is. It's fun. I mean, I don't get, like, I hear people like, oh, I'm going to give up because I can't compete with that kind of guy's build. But to me, it's an inspiration. I mean, I know I'm a long ways away from a lot of you guys in
no,
my
you're
capability.
not. You're right there.
Well, thank you. You're too kind.
You're right
I
there.
think I'm coming along. I'll get
Good.
there.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
we
you.
all build at our own level. Don't. The person you should compete against is yourself. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Find inspiration from people when you go to shows. Talk to people. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Again, anybody can get a hold of me anytime. I'll tell you exactly how I'm doing things.
Yeah.
I've got a good friend of mine that I've kind of been coaching along, helping him with airbrush. Mike Felix, the guy over there at the Newburgh Model Club. The reason he and I met was he was picking up an airbrush. He got to see some of my work, displayed at a show a couple of years ago, really liked my work, and kind of pulled me into that group. And that's the best group. There's a lot of great talented people over there, and I just soaked that up like a sponge, but I helped Mike kind of pick up an airbrush, get him pointed in direction. And as a guy that spent many years teaching, when I was going through the apprenticeship program to become an electrician, I had apprentices work for me. My life really has the legacy I'll leave behind is the ability to help people and teach and train and help people get where they need to be. And if you need help, I'm willing to help. If you are comfortable where you are, stay where you are. But don't go to a show and all that stuff because you think your stuff's not good enough. That's horse shit.
Yeah. I'm in full agreement with you there.
Yeah, bring your stuff, put it on the table, be critiqued, ask questions. Those are the things that are going to get you to get out of your comfort zone. If you're comfortable where you are, stay where you are. Enjoy it for what it is. Enjoy it for the community, the people within it.
Yeah.
And just it's a great hobby. I love it.
And sometimes it's the simplest tips and tricks that you might have eventually figured out for yourself, but when you go to a show and there was a model right side by side with mine in Columbus last year, so I was only building for a couple months, and his bare metal foil was just like impeccable. I mean, it looked like real stainless steel trim, and then mine looked all lumpy and bumpy and stuff, and I'm like, why? I asked him, I says, what method do you use? Oh, bare metal foil. I said, well, yes, so did I. But, simple thing that I never thought of. He says, well, I sand every step along the way, the base coat, the primer, it's a simple tip that I probably should have thought of on my own, but that brought my bare metal to a whole new level now.
The smoother you make it, the better it's going to look.
Yeah.
It's very easy when you're just kind of getting going with an airbrush, and same with painting a car, to stop before you got to really kind of go over the edge. If you stop at the edge, it creates dry spots. It creates a lot of orange peel, the stuff that you just mentioned.
Exactly.
Right? And then you put bare metal foil on, it's like, it magnifies it. So always go over further than what you think you need to be. And trust me, I still struggle with that too. I get dry spots sometimes on the bottom of those core panels because I just don't go far enough,
Yep.
So
I hear you.
Again, it's all about just the experience and learning as you go. So
It's hard to believe we're just minutes away from a 2-hour show here.
this has been great.
I knew it would run long. I knew
Yeah.
it would
Well,
because it was going to be so much fun.
I appreciate it.
So, Kevin, you had a comment up earlier asking if I was going to Acme and Plastic Undercover. Yes, I'm doing both. Certainly can't miss Plastic Undercover because that's only an hour away from here. So,
Yeah.
I will definitely do that show.
Nice.
So, anybody have any questions for Jodi before we go? And Jodi, do me a favor, get me the links to anything that you want. You mentioned Facebook and also the model Insanity podcast and stuff. And what I'll do, folks, is I will put those links in the description of this because as soon as we end the show, it becomes a video.
Yeah.
So I'll have links in there in case you want to see some, where to find Jodi. But you can also tell us. So where all can we find you, Jodi?
Yeah. So I'm over. I can be found over on Instagram at VW Jodi. My Facebook page is Jodi Doyle. Very particular about who I let into both of those things. Not everybody gets a pass, but if we've got, mutual friends and I see anything to do with modeling, I usually will let people in. I host the Model Car Mania podcast with Jason Hanscom, Mikey, the Scale Model Outlaw, Justin Ryan, Brian Gugamos, BG's Model Workshop. We have our own Facebook page over there, the Model Car Mania Facebook page. We can be found over there. I try to I've got a really good folder. So anybody that's Facebook friends with me, if you go into my photos, there's a whole album of model photos. And that's basically for the last 10, 15 years of everything I've put in there.
Wow.
I try to upload stuff into my VW Jodi Instagram account. Got to be better about that. I've contemplated a little bit with the YouTube stuff, thinking about it more. But I've got just such a busy schedule. It's just going to be really hard to find time to do that. But I'm very fortunate that I got invited along to do the Model Car Mania podcast. That's a lot of fun. I do the Sunday lives with Jason and those guys every Sunday, 4 to 6. So I feel I've got enough of an online presence. If people need to find me, they can. And again, feel free to reach out. Send me a message on Instagram. Send me a message on Facebook. I'll help whoever I can if I can. So
Great. Yeah, I tell you what, I don't know how you working guys do it.
Yeah.
I don't even think I could be building if I still had my career. It was pretty demanding job, and even at home, I had to concentrate and think about the problems, and sometimes, work on them in the evening because I just had too many distractions at work.
Yeah. To take the words from my good friend Jason Hanscom, it's just time management. So my model bench, which you can't really see, is literally, so I live alone over here, and it's my kitchen table is my modeling bench currently. So my paint booth and all my stash is down in the basement. So even if I can grab 10, 15 minutes a day, I'm at the bench basically all the time. And when you're at the bench all the time, through time management, stuff just gets done. And the thing that I've kind of learned to do over the last few builds is if I've got a couple model builds going and I'm going to go down and have a paint session, I'll spend 3-4 hours in the basement doing a big paint. I'll start with the lightest color first and work up to the darkest color. So I'll paint everything aluminum that needs to be painted. Then I'll paint everything the next color. That way the kit basically is all painted. And then once the body and stuff is done, I always do the body last, get all the fitment and everything done. And then once everything's painted, at that point, we're just putting them together.
Yeah.
So if you get into that mindset, what color you want things to be, try to put in a good session, get all your paint work done. Because then once the paint work's done, then, I keep these little plastic bins. That's where all the parts and pieces go. Everything goes in the bin. Once everything is there, you can just start putting stuff together, and everything starts coming out of that bin. You start getting to the bottom of it, and then you're done. So
That's a very good tip. Even that red, white, and blue Mustang, I got a couple of weeks into the build, but like you said, once I finished painting everything, I think I assembled that thing in like a day and a half.
Yeah.
Just 2 sessions at my bench, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it was assembled.
Yeah, I mean, with the glues and materials we have today, it just makes things so much quicker and easier to just get done what we got to get done, you know.
Yeah.
Again, good model building practices, time management, pre-fitment, making sure things go together at the end. You know, you can build a really decent model in 2-3 weeks if you manage your time properly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Jeffrey, you were asking about the podcast that is called Model Car Mania.
Yep, Model Car Mania podcast.
Okay.
We're on, Apple, the Apple platform. We're on Spotify. Go check it out. It's a good time. We just recorded episode 10 there recently. So
Yeah. You know, that's one thing. I have not checked out one of those myself. I watch the Sunday builds every Sunday, but
go check out episode 10. You may get mentioned in there. So
Okay, I'll check it out. Well, I really had a lot of fun, Jodi. I really appreciate you
This is
joining me.
great.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this. Again, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job over there, and really inspiring stuff. I did look at your stuff at NNL. You're doing a great job. So just keep at it.
Well, thank you for the kind words. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so many hobbies. I mean, I'm enjoying the channel. I'm enjoying playing around with my stuff here, learning about the AI and how I can integrate that, you know, and it's just fun embellishing and making things better. So
Yeah.
I'm having a good time.
Fantastic.
Okay, well, stick around too. I'd like to just chat with you after the
Sounds good.
credits roll on the end of the show here. So if you don't mind, I'm going to put you backstage real quick and say goodbye to the folks here.
Take care, everybody.
And happy 4th, Jodi. Take care.
4th
Be
to you.
safe.
Yep.
Okay, man, what a great guest. What a great builder. Another great builder. I have not had a bad guest. In fact, what is this? This is show number 20. It's hard to believe I've done 20 episodes. But every builder that I've had has been a great guest, great conversations, great builds, great tips. So keep it coming, folks. And remember, too, next month we got Jerome here. Let me put that banner back up. So Jerome Andrews of Models by Ronnie will be on my next show, August 7th, 2026. Hope you can join me then. Hope it wasn't too late for you guys, but I did move the time back a little bit to 8 o'clock because my folks on the West Coast were having trouble getting home in time to watch the live stream, so I kind of compromised a little bit. But I thank you all so much for watching my videos and watching my live streams. I thank you. I wish you a very safe and happy 4th of July, and don't eat too many hot dogs, and I hope the heat dissipates a little bit for most of us. So until next time, folks, just model on. Thanks a lot. See you next time.